welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks Data. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man who is absolutely perfect for this piece. It's John Levingood.
Yeah, I'm perfect for the piece because you're talking about data, and when you look at me, you just see a bunch of numbers in place like the Matrix.
Yeah, you're basically the Neo of the Movies, Films, and Flicks writers and contributors. You're Neo.
I was a little bothered that I wasn't called by Lana to be in the fourth Matrix movie that was announced.
Yeah, I was surprised by that too, because I thought your arc as henchman number 1 in the Matrix, dancer number 6, 7, and 8 in the Matrix 2, and then you were 7 of the Agent Smiths in Matrix Revolutions in the background.
Could have been. It very well could have been with all those Agent Smiths. And I talked so much about drop kicking Chris Evans in Snowpiercer that I thought that they'd want to see me, reprise my dropkick role.
Now, in The Matrix, you had Chad Stahelski, who directed the John Wick movies. You had Tiger Chen, who's in Triple Threat and Man of Tai Chi. Then you had, David Leitch, who also did John Wick and Atomic Blonde. You were the all-star out of all of them, but you kind of just said, I'm not selling out like you guys. And now you're just pure... you're a pure stuntman. You're basically data-driven stuntman.
I'm the dude who throws out his back doing a drop kick trying to prove a point at a bar.
Yeah, you sneezed the other day and blew out your back. So the reason you're perfect for this, though, is we, on one of our podcast series that you and I did, we did the Cinematic Sea Beast tournament, where you and I, we picked 16 Sea Beasts or 32?
It was a lot.
Yeah.
We had so many honorable mentions, it might as well have been 64. That was a two-parter.
With about 50 questions from listeners. Then we did the whole tournament, we picked a winner. But this creature was in the Cinematic Sea Beast tournament, and I wrote an article about the Sea Beast, in 2012, and that's probably been one of our biggest articles for Movies, Films, and Flicks.
Everyone wants to know what's up with that sea beast.
I think it's just because it's on screen for 10 seconds, it's gigantic, and it gets murdered easily.
Part of my amusement, by the way, is what it's called.
Yeah.
This Waterworld creature. It's the Sea Eater.
Yep, the Sea Eater. And so I have this article on Movies, Films, and Flicks where I break down the Mariner versus Sea Beast moment in Waterworld. You can check it out on moviesfilmsandflicks.com, Flix. And you know what I did, John? So I kind of wanted to break down this battle and everything. And so there's a novelization of this movie. I emailed the people who left reviews for it on Amazon, and I asked, because I don't know, I just didn't want to read the whole book to find out 3 sentences about the Sea Eater, but I sent them all emails. Hey, can you tell me a little bit more about the Sea Eaters in this movie? And no one messaged me back. So this Sea Beast, from what we know, it's 20 tons, right? It weighs 20 tons, and it can get up to 40 feet long, according to kaiju.wikidot.com. It has it's massive teeth, right? Huge teeth, and would you say that these sea beasts are everywhere? Because Costner jumps into the water and it is immediately on him. So did he get lucky? Was he going for something else? Was he looking for other animals? Or does he know that these things are everywhere?
I mean, I wonder if this is kind of... Okay, 2 hypotheses. One hypothesis, this is like a blue whale. A blue whale has a huge distribution across the world, even though it's not necessarily in all the seas and oceans areas. It covers a huge expanse of them, right?
Yeah.
So maybe they're just huge quadrant or half of the world where they were in. You just know there are blue whales. Does that mean that I think I'm going to jump in the water and find one within 5 minutes of drifting myself like a fishing lure? Not necessarily. Or maybe sea beasts are more like sharks, where it's a whole lot of species of them, and they're in maybe all the warm oceans and waters, whether it's a mako or a great shark or a great white shark or whatever. And maybe he knows that they're going to be around, and maybe he knows if he fishing lures himself for, 10 miles, he's probably going to get the attention of one. Like maybe that's what's going on. There's a whole bunch of different kinds. I don't know. Or maybe they're just really common.
Because he knows. And I don't know why people would ride jet skis. And any atoll would be destroyed by these things.
Yeah. Or maybe the jet ski's too fast for it, though, right? But then you drift. Then you're sitting there like those smokers drifting in the distance. And then, remember when they're watching the ship from a long distance? Yeah. And then all of a sudden one gets just scooped up like a mosasaur jumped out of the water to get him.
I wish that would have been so cool. Also, I have another question for you about this scene. why does he throw the fishing reels away? The women on the boat, they're not complaining. They are trying to catch food. Like, they're contributing. He takes the fishing poles and he throws them off of the boat. Why does he do this?
Okay. If I'm I'm in a high school debate team, right? I've been assigned the pro Kevin Costner argument. So this is not necessarily my belief.
Okay.
But if I'm assigned pro, I'm going to say the warmer water, higher, closer to the surface is where most of the krill are. Very small fish eat that. They want bigger fish that are a little deeper that only occasionally come up to feed on those smaller fish. Maybe the lines that they have on those little kid-sized poles don't go deep enough to catch anything effective.
But why does he have them on his boat? And why does he throw them off the boat?
Oh, the women traded for it.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Remember the women traded for it.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
And he was pissed off that they wasted resources trading for those stupid fishing poles. But of course, some dude gave them to them like, oh yeah, you're going to catch fish with these.
Oh yeah.
They're like, oh great, we're hungry. And but again, so not necessarily my belief as to why it wouldn't work, if indeed they would. But if I'm just coming up with a hypothesis, like when you go deep sea fishing, well, not deep, when you go out ocean fishing, you usually, are fishing deeper.
Yeah.
But then again, when we go out in the ocean, when we go miles off the coast, we're also deliberately trying to get bigger fish. So if we're not trying to get huge fish, I don't really know what the dynamics are. We need some fishermen to comment on the pod post and help us out. What's your take on this, Mark?
About the fishing poles?
Yeah, about the fishing poles, why they wouldn't work.
I just thought he was pissed off and he just threw
being a
them.
jerk?
Yeah, because he has a temperament in this movie. He obviously knows they're not going to work, but I don't know why he would throw them away. That's my main thing.
We can trade him to some other fool.
Yeah, exactly. That's my main. I actually did. I actually messaged some fishermen, and I have a cousin who does bow hunting and he shoots fish. But that doesn't really help because there's two issues I had. The biggest issues I had was this, John. So I was able to figure out that the boat was moving at 2.96 knots, which is 3.14 miles because of the rope. I said it was 8 seconds for the 40-foot rope to become taut. So I figured out how fast they were going. I knew exactly how long it took. And I actually knew how fast Costner could swim because of the sea atoll tack. So I figured he can swim at 10.2 miles an hour, which is pretty quick. So
fast, yeah.
The biggest problem I had was, does this monster sink? And that's what I spent most of my time on. Because when he gets swallowed whole by the monster, he has a little spear gun with one spear, but somehow he blows two massive holes on either side of it. So he blows double holes. So the whole thing gets opened up, right? That means all the gases are expelled. So does it immediately sink? Or does it stay on the surface of the ocean, despite the fact that it's 20 tons in weight?
I don't think it's going to float. I don't think it's going to come to the top. Per se, right? I think that would happen post decomposition starting for the internal bloating, right?
Yeah.
So right away, I think it's probably going to hover in the same area or slowly sink.
Yeah. And so while he's trying to fight his way out of it, right? He's not attached to the rope anymore that he jumped out of because there's no way that rope could have lasted had that monster bit. That would have pulled the boat back. So he lets go of the rope that he's being dragged on. So his boat is going away from him at 3.41 miles an hour in another direction while he's inside of a sea beast that I think, there's no way to know, is sinking. So he is sinking inside of a sea beast, trying to get out of it. There's a lot of blood and guts. He's probably, he doesn't want to just leave his gun in there, so he grabs his gun. He's sinking in the thing. He's probably doing this, that, and the other. So while he's sinking, the boat is pulling away. And I don't think the two women on the boat knew exactly how to turn it around. So he had to swim underwater and catch off the boat during... Does that make sense? So he's underwater. He's dropping a 20-ton beast.
Just to eliminate a variable, even if the beast hovered in the exact spot where he killed it by shooting it from the inside out, right? That thing is still going... The ship is still going 4 miles an hour away.
Yeah. So it's always...
no matter what, that's still happening.
So the ladies on the boat are just going, did he get killed? What is happening? So he has to get out of the beast, all the blood, he probably gets his gun, And if you look on the website, my wife did some really funny designs for this. Which
I love the illustrations.
Yeah,
they're really cute.
Yeah, they're really cute. I love it. So we're thinking by the time he freed himself, the boat is about 715 feet away. So he has to swim. Oh, it takes him about 75 seconds to catch up to the boat because he swims so fast. But then he has to turn the boat around with the time that he was in the monster, then the 75 seconds. He has to turn the boat around, right? Then he has to get out his, what did he have that, what's that thing I called it? He had the little diving bell that he had. Remember the underwater Denver scene with the diving bell?
Right.
So he probably preps that, some knives, attaches it to his boat. Then he drops down to go catch a 20-ton beast that has been sinking for quite some time. So he's going after this monster. Then, this thing's 20 tons, right? He has to cut off, 100 pounds of meat? Because he's not salting it. There's no refrigeration, all right? So he killed a 20-ton monster for, I'm being generous here. What do you think, 100 pounds of meat?
If that. We're assuming, right? Like what we see him flop down some blubberous meat that probably weighed 10 pounds on some coals. But of course they were already eating something at the time, right?
Yep.
So let's say there were a couple of them. Let's call it but I'm aware of basically 20 pounds.
Yeah.
I want to assume he took more than that, like you're saying. He better have. Otherwise, he's going to have another argument about fishing poles with those women.
I mean, a lot of meat is well, no, you know what, though? That creature's going to fall to the bottom of the ocean, and that's going to be deadfall for months, maybe a year, for the critters down there. Crabs, sharks.
He could go down there and he could make a seafood tower with the stuff that's maybe that's his real plan. Yep. He just knows that it's there. He just hangs out there, right? And he goes down there and he gets some lobster, some crabs, bait fish, and he makes one of those expensive seafood towers. He's even he gets a sturgeon. He's milking out the roe for caviar.
Oh man, yeah. So he lets this thing sink. He goes back to it a week later when all the creatures on the bottom of the ocean are feeding on it. Then he just does a platter of delicious food.
I mean, assuming that he has a rope long enough for a little buoy to mark where that is. That would be a very long rope. But, that's a possible plan. I always imagined that when he exploded his way out, that he kind of cut a piece of meat right away. But then that would be like a one meal, right? That would have been so little food if he had done that.
Yeah. So...
And how is he swimming with this stuff? Because I don't think he can swim half that fast while he's carrying stuff.
I think he took the diving bell down, because remember when he loads up his diving bell in Denver? He goes down to the bottom of the ocean and finds things with the diving bell. So I think he takes that down and he loaded it up in there. And then he swam back up slower. It didn't... Yeah. He doesn't have to worry about the bends or anything.
The girls found dry land by the time he got back.
But I think the whole thing between... The entire process before cooking everything would have taken him about 32 minutes and 25 seconds. So explode it, catch up to the boat, turn the boat around, swim down, grab the meat, come back up, and that's generous. But this post makes me happy, John, because I'm not making fun of this movie. We love this movie. If you listen to our 220 episodes, and maybe you're going to hear a lot about us talking about Waterworld in a fun light. What?
It does come up. Yeah, it does come up. I almost want to give Kevin Costner, the mariner, the benefit of the doubt and say that he knew that when he killed this, it would float to the surface, and it did. And then all this becomes a lot more credible. Of course, they should have shown that scene if that happened. Yeah,
and so it's their fault. And as always, like I say with my data, there's no real answer because this is all guesswork. But I timed how long it took for the rope to get taut. I timed how fast he swam. I knew about the diving bell. I saw the meat that he had. I knew how fast the boat was going. So even though there's no real answer, I'm very happy with the answer that I came up with. But I mainly did this just so you're at work, John. You're sitting there at work. You have a little bit of time. You're just getting situated in the morning. And you just read this article. You're not going to laugh out loud. You're not going to slap everyone's back around you. You're not going to share it everywhere, but you're just going to chuckle a little bit, and you're going to be like, oh, yeah, I love that scene.
Right. Most people at my federal office probably wouldn't so readily identify with the sea eater scene from Waterworld as quick to mind as we do. But, it is nice, folks, if you get that little email notification that a new pod post dropped. just give a click and check it out.
It's I just wanted people to chuckle with this and just think about the whole situation, because this isn't like I'm not really like hating on it. I'm just thinking of the process that happened after he killed it to eating it, and that makes me happy.
This post is especially tactful because of your wife's images that she put in. Because if I'm one of those jerks who's just always, who always has to comment and be heard and be contrarian and just say, no, that wouldn't have happened. Well, but the images are so cute, and they kind of show like a time lapse. Like it's like 5 comic panels showing events in this process, and that's just so cheeky that it's like, how seriously do you really want to take your criticism, folks? This is fun. Let's go on the journey. So I really like these pictures. So what I try to do with these articles, I try to write them very dry. Like with these, like at the last picture, I have another sea eater going, "Who killed Hank?" So right. I like to write them very dry and with weird captions, and then just add cheeky drawings. Because then I think people are like, oh, okay, this dude doesn't think he's changing the world. He's just writing something kind of silly. Does that make sense? You're not expecting a nomination for a Nobel Prize for this. I mean, I already have 6 Pulitzers, so I don't need the Nobel. That's right. But I don't know. This is fun. I'm glad we broke this down, because these are the discussions I want people to have. Where I also like, and when other people present another hypothesis to me, I'm like, yeah, sure, okay, because there's no right answer. I want to put in a request for consideration of future Waterworld data analysis. Yeah, what? Okay. I don't know how long it's been since the polar ice caps have melted in this movie, but it was a long, long, long time ago. And the bad guys are smokers, and we see them smoking constantly. I want to know how many cartons of cigarettes Dennis Hopper had when he first assumed leadership of the smokers, how long it's been, and how long those cigarettes are going to last at the rate that his band of smokers keep smoking. All right, I'm doing that. Because I have a feeling that he actually ran out 10 times already, or the water apocalypse happened a week before the movie started. How many cigarettes do the smokers smoke when the smokers started smoking? Right. I'm doing it. Just throwing a woodchuck. I got 3 in there, and I'll do this 4th, and then we'll do another podcast about that. Done. All right, or another episode about that. That sounds great. All right, hey, thanks for joining me, man. Sure. All right, so for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for John Levengood, this is Movies, Films, and Flicks Data. We'll see you next week.